From family-run legacies to billion-dollar giants, what does it really take a business to scale beyond limits? Hello everyone, this is your host Shefta Khan and you're watching another episode of Story Makers today. Today we have someone who has not taken businesses from 0 to million but who has taken businesses from millions to billions. Yes, we have with us today Mr. Deependra Shanker Agarwal, a powerhouse of story makers. Without further ado, let's welcome him on board today. Hello sir.
Thank you, Shefta. Thank you so much. How are you?
I am good, sir. How are you doing?
Very good. Thank you for having me.
Sir, please tell us a bit about yourself before we move further into this video, because we just told our audience that you have taken businesses not from 0 to million, but something very crazy from millions to billions. I'm sure there's a story behind it.
Yeah, sure. Of course, there's a story. So, I'm from a small town called Agra. I was born there. I did my schooling there.
Yeah.
Then I did economics honors from St. Stephen's College, Delhi. I went to Mumbai. I did my management studies from there. And then I started my business. My first business was I acquired a steel plant in 2006. I turned it around and we sold it and exited in 2009. So that was my first exit. Then we got into automobiles.
Yeah.
We were distributing cars across multiple cities for many, many years. Then I got into real estate development, and we regularly develop and still continue to develop and have one of the highest ratings in our development. What got me into investing was a very interesting journey.
Yeah.
I've always had a very curious mind, so
Clearly, my yeah.
so there was this one time when I went to attend a talk by a very renowned asset management company owner of India.
Okay.
And I was listening to his speech and that really inspired me. He said that he came to Mumbai with 5,000 rupees in early 90s, and today his net worth was over $2 billion.
Wow.
So I got very inspired. He said that if you can grow consistently, let's say 12 to 18% year on year, then the value add you can create over 20-25 years is very large. So after the talk got over, I went to him and I said, sir, that you said you grow at 18%, but if you had 5,000 rupees and you grew at 18%, that will not make 2 billion.
Right, of course.
So how do you have 2 billion?
Correct.
I don't want to do that investing. I want to do what you do.
Wow.
So that was the journey which
That
made
was
me
a clear
curious.
picture that was in your mind and you were like, sir, मुझे तो straight सीधा बताओ कि how to reach
आप क्या
2
करते थे?
billion. Of course.
I
और
want to
आपने
do what
कैसे
you
किया?
do.
Correct.
So that was the starting of the journey.
Yeah, after this podcast मैं भी आपसे पूछूंगी same question. सीधा direct point पे बात करेंगे. ये तो ठीक है, questions है, set of questions है, but after this podcast I will be also inspired by you. I'm still inspired and I'll be like, sir, point पे आते हैं.
Of course, of course. Happy to help in any way possible.
Thank you. So how do you take a billion from a business to a legacy?
See, first I think what is important to define is what is legacy, right?
Because billion, the word is not just a billion now. It has become a legacy. It has become something that you have made over a period of time, over a period of years, and you have built it.
See, I'll tell you something. India is led by traditional business owners, and
Correct.
traditional business owners have this mindset of running businesses for making money and profits. But unfortunately, what they don't realize is that profits have a limit.
Correct.
And they can only grow at a certain pace every year.
Right.
It's very difficult for a traditional business to become $1 billion business just by making profits.
Not possible.
Not very difficult.
Yeah.
Eventually, the game is not about profits but also valuations on how you can make your business investable, raise equity from investors, and keep growing business at a very high pace. So just to give you an example, if you're growing at 10% year on year,
Yeah.
in 20 years you will be 6.5 times your size.
Right.
Instead of that 10%, if you grow at 26% year on year, you will be 100 times your size in 20 years. So that is the power of compounding. So you need to grow faster, not a linear growth but an exponential growth.
Yeah.
And if you can continue doing that year on year for next 1 decade or 2 decades, you can become 100x or 1000x your size.
Yeah.
And that is how you build legacy.
Wow.
So from $1 million to $1 billion, there are 3 more zeros. You have to become 1000x.
Yeah.
It may sound a lot, but you'll be surprised to know that if you grow at 26% year on year, 1 million will become 1 billion in 30 years.
But that's a huge span of time.
Correct. So if you can grow instead of 26% at 35%, maybe that 30 years will become 20 years.
20 years and then
if you can grow 50% year on year,
so
you will
10
probably do it in 12, 13 years.
Correct,
right?
correct.
We have seen so many examples in our country where people have just come out of IIT, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. They have built legacies for $10 billion, $15 billion. I mean, you look at so many examples like Zomato or Lenskart, Zetwork, Oyo. So many of these businesses, they started from no money. And now they're all billion-dollar enterprises. So it's not that the traditional businesses are not working hard. It's just that the way of thinking has to change, the know-how has to change, and you have to move from profit-making mindset to a valuation-creating mindset, so that you can have the top investors from the country, fund houses, institutions invest in you. Because when they invest in you, they don't just come with capital, they also come with a lot of expertise, connections, exposure.
Correct.
And that really helps you take the business from X to 1000X. The moment we can gain trust of investors, then the bottleneck of capital goes away.
Correct.
Then the only bottleneck you have is your ability to execute, because you have infinite access to capital. And that is the journey I help businesses get into, to get access to infinite capital, to give them what they need so that they can become from $1 million to $1 billion.
When you invest, before investing, what do you see in a business owner or a business to spend your money onto and reach them from million to billion again? What's that one thing that you see in the business owners more than a business?
There is no set rule to what you see, but let me give you a simple example, right?
Yeah.
You go to a showroom to buy a shirt.
Right.
Sometimes, even if you do not want to buy, there's a good salesman who convinces you to buy.
True.
Whereas there's other time when you really want to buy, but because of bad experience, you just walk out, right?
Correct.
Now, what is there in that salesman? I think there's that zeal, there is that fire to execute, there is that discipline to get up every morning, not get swayed away, and execute it day after day, every day, for months and years and decades, right? So eventually there has to be that fire which has to go on. So eventually it all boils down to who's running that business.
True. The business owner is important more than a business, and then you take any business from 0 to million and then again million to billion one, right?
Yes, because business is not so important because businesses evolve, right? Amazon used to be a book selling company. Zomato was a discount coupon selling company. You look at any business, they were doing something very different from what they are doing today when they become $1 billion.
Correct.
So when the CEO or the founder is in touch with the market, he has to constantly keep changing.
Checking what's going in the trend, right?
Correct. He has to be very dynamic.
True.
And if he is dynamic, he will keep evolving because the markets evolve.
100%. You talk about transforming promoters from $1 million to $1 billion one. What does that shift really involve mentally and practically?
See, the biggest shift which is required is to stop selling the product but start selling your company. Today, everybody is selling their products. What they do not realize is that their biggest product is they themselves and their company.
Right.
If people start believing in your company, the value of the company keeps going. The equity value of the company keeps going. If you're selling yourself, if you're keeping your word, if you're building that trust, if you're delivering what you're promising.
If you yourself are a brand, then
you
everything...
yourself become a brand, right?
Correct.
I mean, if, let's say, at an extreme example, if Mr. Ratan Tata said that, I will build another car company, people will trust him.
True.
This trust itself can attract billions of dollars.
Wow, wonderfully said. Wonderfully said. Is it true that people say when you start a business, it should have some motive, it should have some aim, something, some agenda behind it for the company to keep going and make an embark in the market? Is that true? Like Mama Earth?
Yes.
It has an initiative for every product you purchase, they plant a tree on behalf of you. So there should be some motive behind your company. Is that true?
See, I think the motive behind this company comes from the top. So the whole agenda and the objective of a good promoter should not be just making more money for himself. There has to be a larger purpose.
Yeah.
Because if you're making $1 million also, beyond a point you're not going to need money. You will be probably having every or at least the most of the delicacies in life you can imagine, right? Million to billion is not just about money. It's not about ego. It's about building that value for the society of thousands of people who will work for you, all the customers, your suppliers, your bankers. In the entire ecosystem, you're just helping the society to move forward.
True.
And that is what a real legacy is. Money in your bank account is not a legacy.
Yeah. So we have talked a lot about money and millions and billions. Let's talk about some of your turning points of your life that changed this mindset of yours, because clearly we are here sitting with you and we are only talking about mindsets. The way you're talking, the way you are changing lives of people and changing their mindset is so like magical. So let's talk about your turning point of your life. कुछ तो होगा, कभी तो वो point आया होगा when you thought कि अच्छा अब ये करते हैं, this will work for me 100%.
No, thank you for asking that. That's an excellent question. For me, the changing part of my life was few years back when I went for a meditation program. It's called Vipassana.
Oh.
And for those of you who don't know Vipassana, it's a form of meditation where you go to the Vipassana Institute and you meditate for 12 days without speaking a word. You have one meal at 6 a.m., the other meal at 12 a.m., then you do not eat anything. You have no access to your phone, any paper, any gadget, anything at all. And you cannot speak any word for 11 days. It's just meditation with a group of people and a guru. What that does is it gives you an immense clarity to see things from a very different perspective. Unfortunately, in the digital world today, we are all bombarded with a lot of digital content.
True.
So if you ask somebody, what did you read last week, he'll not remember.
No, 100%.
What is happening is that just like in computers, there's primary memory and secondary memory. Our only primary memory is activated. We are not going very deep. Vipassana really helped me see things in a very different light. And the whole motivation and approach towards life changed of being in the present, thinking now, knowing what is happening outside and how it is affecting me inside, and then how to control those emotions inside, which really helps you become a better person, a more happier person, and helping all around you become happier.
Right.
So for me now, helping entrepreneurs go from $1 million to $1 billion journey is not just about money. It's also about the satisfaction of helping businesses build that value.
What is a person with meditation and without meditation? What are some clear changes that you see, because you have practiced meditation, you have been there, you know how it feels like. So what is a person without meditation? Like, what did you do wrong in their life and what changes should they bring in their life?
I don't think anybody has done anything wrong. A person who meditates, generally you will find him a lot more calm. He will mostly act and not react. What is happening outside of him will affect him very less. And there's something called equanimity, the law of impermanence. So a Vipassvi understands that there's a law of impermanence. This moment is impermanent. Rag and Dvesh are impermanent, right? Rag is happiness, Dvesh is sorrow. So when I'm happy, I'm the same. When I'm sad, I'm the same.
Okay.
I am mostly in a moment of equanimity, of not my happiness graph doesn't go up or down with what is changing outside.
It doesn't spike. It is just balanced, right? That's what you're trying to say.
And I think that is what you would see with a lot of people who are constantly meditating.
Wow, that's beautiful. Let's see if I would like to get into that journey of being calm and composed, and keeping my graft aligned. Well, moving further, you mentioned that the current IPO consulting system is broken. What led you to this conclusion, and how does your model challenge the status quo?
See, currently, it's not exactly that the IPO system is broken. It's the mindset of the promoter that needs a lot more holistic approach. So currently, what is happening is that if you, in the journey of valuation and creating value, a private company has to go through multiple stages over next 5 years. IPO is a very small part of the entire journey.
True.
But what is happening is that in the busy world, there's so many consultants now who are just going to business owners and saying that we'll help you go IPO. and they have made entrepreneurs believe that IPO is the end.
Right.
It is the beginning and it is the end, and if you do that, you've arrived. Whereas IPO is probably 2% of the journey. The real journey is, can one really build value? Can company really go from $1 million to $1 billion? Can there be an actual retail participation of lakhs and millions of people investing into the company, believing into the company, and that company really go out there and continue that journey? So the IPO consultants are a very small part of the journey. I'll not say they are broken, but they are a small part of the journey, and one should only go there when they are ready.
Correct.
And to get ready is itself a 3 to 5 year journey.
But why do you think traditional consultants and bankers fail in delivering their true enterprise drills?
I think the person who has failed is the promoter.
Yes.
He has failed to realize that IPO is not the end. IPO is just a step in the journey. Before that, there is a set of events, and after that also there is a set of events. Going to that consultant at the right time, that journey has failed.
Okay.
He has to go to that consultant at the right time. And then there are excellent consultants, chartered accountants, merchant bankers, investment bankers who are doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And they will do a great job for you, I'm sure.
Yeah. Can you share some of your experiences aligning to this?
See, I am invested into multiple companies,
Yes.
right? So every time a promoter has to raise money, he has to dilute his equity. So let's say the company is, the starting journey is $10 million of valuation. And every time it has to increase, it has to raise some money and dilute his equity, right? The mindset of the promoter is to own the maximum equity when they hit the IPO market. If you hit IPO market too soon, then you have to dilute a lot, because there are norms where you have to minimum dilute 25% when you're going public.
Right.
So you end up selling too soon and too cheap.
Correct.
Whereas, let's say a company like Lenskart, it is currently valued approximately $7 billion. It has still not gone IPO. It could have gone IPO
anytime, whenever
at
they
1
want.
billion or 500 million also,
Right.
But there is a reason why a Lenskart or a Vari Energies or a National Stock Exchange or so many companies are not going IPO. Fortunately, in India, the private markets are as robust as public markets. Private markets also, you can really enjoy fantastic valuations. So there is practically no reason you need to rush for IPO.
Correct.
What you need to rush for is how to build value and legacy. And if you can do that in time, that's the highest favor you can do to yourself.
So when's the right time, to rush for the IPO? When do you say, coming from an experience in the background that you have invested in so many businesses, when do you think it is the right time now?
See, 2-3 things.
Yeah.
One is, beyond a certain amount of capital when you're trying to raise, retail participation becomes important, because it may be too large for private investors to invest.
Correct.
Let's say in India that number is between 500 to 1000 crores. If you're raising that amount or more, then it's a good time to hit the IPO market, because it's easier to raise. Not that you can't raise that money in private market, but it's easier. Secondly, your corporate governance, your compliances, you need to have a full team to do that, because going public, there is so much of investor and institutional interest in you, institutions' interest in you, that you have to be answerable to each and every investor on a daily basis. So the compliances required are very high. Otherwise, promoters get diverted from building the business to doing, let's say, a SEBI compliance or any other regulatory authorities compliance, which is important from investors' perspective, but they are not yet ready.
Correct. You have backed more than 5 unicorns. What early signals do you look in companies before investing?
See, multiple, but broadly I'll say there are 3. One, I spoke about founders, that founders have to really have the fire to do it. The
fire is the word.
Yes, because, I asked one founder, to build this business, what will you do?
Correct.
He said, I will do whatever it takes. So that one answer says it all.
Yeah, it drove you to a place and a point that where let's invest.
Yes. Secondly, I think the business he's building should have a very large total addressable market. Sometimes a lot of businesses are trying to solve very small problems which doesn't have a market, but there's no product market fit.
Correct.
And third is, there has to be some uniqueness in the business. Customer has to be sticky. You know, if we are doing a commodity business, then it's very easy for a customer to move from one place to the other. Whereas if the customer is sticky and you're growing, then, you know, to keep building the business and acquiring newer customers is easier while the older ones stay.
It brings you like 2x, 4x of what you're actually earning.
Yes.
It's called like the return rate. कि आपको अगर return rate मिल रहा है, if the companies or sorry customers are coming back to you again and forth, the company is actually building something.
Correct. And fourth is most efficient allocation of capital.
Allocations of
capital.
Okay.
So there's a terminology in finance which is called return on incremental capital. You know, every time you reinvest $1, how much money will you make out of it? I think this sounds a very simple concept, but you'll be surprised. Most of the promoters don't understand this. You know, the moment the business starts doing well, they'll buy a big factory, they'll buy a nice car, they will start hosting annual parties for the
full
employees.
luxuries.
You know, they forget that
this is a shareholder money.
They forget that this is a shareholder's money, and they have to be extremely watchful and diligent on how every dollar is being spent. So you have to be frugal. At $1 billion also, you have to act like a startup.
Yes.
Frugal, not that because you can, you would. I think that mindset has to be there. So if few things a promoter has, there's a very high probability of him changing his track.
Oh, beautifully said, and gonna help so many of them who's just at the right point where they should be. They've worked so hard all their life and they're just spending like because they can. And you just rightly mentioned, if you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
Right. Can you walk us through how your team help businesses double profits or just go into like autopilot mode?
Yeah, so you know, in our team I have my partners who are experts in structuring businesses, putting the business on autopilot mode, helping sales. So the whole idea is that once you have money, then what, right? You know, there's a saying that the strategy to catch a rabbit is very different from a strategy to catch an elephant. You can't just say that, you know, he's an animal catcher, he can catch anything.
Correct.
Let's say if somebody has one hotel and I give them enough money to build 100 hotels. Is it easy to build? Is it easy to run?
No.
The mindset is very different.
It will be still easy to build, but it will not be easy to run at all.
Correct. So while you have to continue running your existing business, you have to also continue growing.
Yeah.
And to keep growing, you have to also keep maintaining profits and keep investors happy so that they continuously keep investing. So there are so many tables you have to keep aligned
revolving
all the time.
And this is a cycle. If the cycle stops, your business, your company stops. And if cycles keeps on moving, the company also keeps growing, and that is what you're trying to say.
Yes.
It has to go, if today it is 2x, it has to be 4x tomorrow.
Yes. And while the 2x customer is still staying. So that when you acquire a new customer, the old ones are still there.
True.
And happy and satisfied.
Yeah.
And making money so that the investors continuously still giving you more money.
True.
So it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but it's very fulfilling.
And makes you happy because again, if the investors are happy, the company is gonna grow, and the promoters are also happy.
See, I consider myself not to be an investor but a part of the business. So I literally get my hands dirty, go down with the promoter, help him solve those problems, help him get him access to the people who he needs to, open the doors, get them international contacts to our Dubai office. There are so many things which you need during the journey, right?
Yeah.
And just helping them achieve that is by itself a huge value addition. And also we have a zoomed out view. When the CEO is running the business, he's so much involved in the day-to-day operations, he's not able to see the larger picture. So we meet the promoter monthly, we help him make a strategy document. In the strategy document, we make the journey from X to Y. We break down journey on monthly basis. We, on every parameter, there is a planned versus an action concept.
Okay.
Wherever that person is getting stuck, we help him solve that. So there's an entire science to how you help him do it. You know, saying million to billion sounds good, but there's a full structure you have to follow, which our team constantly on daily basis is working with the promoter to help them follow.
Right. So you're working on the very basic, very initial level to be true, and that's how your way of living a life has changed, making me bring to this question, what does your day look like? It's very interesting because now when you're saying you're working on the initial level, you're actually going on with the promoters, helping them out, making their way out. What does your day look like?
So to be honest with you,
because you're also into meditation, by the way.
Yeah, so day looks like morning meditation, workout, breakfast, reach office at 9. It's very interesting. I work from 5 to 6 in the morning for 1 hour.
Okay, and why is it so?
Because I call that my think time. And I that time I don't want any phone calls. Anyone, I think it's a meditative time. It's called.
The world is sleeping and you're working.
It's also called Brahm Muhurat in our Indian context, where they say that the oxygen levels are highest that time. So you have the best thinking capability that time. So all the big decisions, whether to invest, not invest, I take between that time.
Oh.
Because during the day the mind gets very cluttered. And then I hit office at 9 o'clock approximately. Mostly first couple of hours is about meeting new promoters who are trying to raise money.
Okay.
So trying to understand the business model, what problem they're trying to solve, how do they try to solve. There's a whole science to how we approach it. My team will do first level of due diligence, then I meet them. And after that, second half is mostly meeting the existing promoters, seeing where they're getting stuck, what's the problem, how are we moving. So it's all about constantly working with the founders.
And starting your day very early is what you said, and gonna help so many of us, because like you mentioned, the oxytocin level is so high. And actually what you also mentioned is the clearance of thoughts that you get early in the morning actually makes you help business grow, right?
Yeah, so the second half of my day I'll meet my businesses which I've invested in and know their story, where they've reached, what's keeping them awake at night, how can I help them through my network to solve those problems. And it's just keeping them all aligned, motivated. Running, that's very important in that promoter's journey, because he's the one who's doing a very hard job.
True, on the very basic level. Well, what would you say to traditional business owners who still think valuation is just, a startup gimmick?
I'll strongly suggest them to go out and read, look at companies, how they've achieved that. See, good part about whatever I'm saying about valuation is all public data. It's all out there on Ministry of Corporate Affairs websites, on multiple portals like Money Control and Screener, right? Just go out there, read about it, see how it's happening. You must have recently heard that mithai manufacturer and a bhujia manufacturer in Delhi, he recently got a $10 billion valuation, and they raised $1 billion value, $1 billion out of it. These are all traditional businesses,
correct,
which are now increasing their size and getting into the game of valuation and making themselves investable, right? Everybody who has money wants to participate with good founders, promoters and businesses, and it's a win-win partnership where investors get a return on their investment while the businesses gets help on the capital to grow it very fast.
All right, well said. Well, what have been some of your most successful investments in the private space?
Honestly, there are multiple investments. I think one of the best investments was National Stock Exchange, NSE. Vikram Solar.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of renewable energy, so I invested in 2 more companies, Cosmic Power and Navitas, which are also doing extremely well. Then there are multiple medical devices company like Maverick Simulators, again doing extremely well. So lot of these companies, the promoters are nice, they're working hard, the profits are good, and they have a very, very bullish outlook moving forward. So, ultimately they own the business. We are a very small, minuscule part of the the shareholding list, but I think these small contributions help, and folks like me and so many others, we together when we invest, it helps them grow much faster.
True. So you also have office both like in India also and in Dubai also. So what are some of the changes that you see? And also you are in connection with European banks. How do you leverage global capital and relationships to scale Indian businesses?
So 2 things. One, India is now on the global map. This was not there like 10 years back. Now Indians are really respected.
Yeah.
Their acumen is really sought after, and we are no less than a European.
It's moving towards a developed country now.
Not just that, the respect we have owned,
Huh.
the respect we have gained over last 10 years is phenomenal. Right now, most of the places Indians get the same salary as a European or an American, not because of the skin color, but because of the capability they have. So that's one. B, also globally, this capital markets and financial markets are a lot more organized. I will say Indian markets, though we have already reached approximately $4 trillion, and it's a huge number, in global context it's still very small. For example, the capital market of US is $50 trillion. This is just the equity. The bonds market in the US is $100 trillion. So, and the global wealth is approximately $500 trillion, right? Based on that, we are not even 1% as a stock market. So there is so much of value creation which is happening and which has to happen. If we are able to attract the international money to invest into Indian businesses, like each of these European banks, they bring out a circular saying that what is their recommendation to their clients on the percentage of their portfolio which should be India. If my memory serves me right, it was 3% a couple of years back, which they increased to 4%. Now that might sound very less, what's 3 and 4%, but you have to understand it's a 33% more allocation. Right?
Correct.
So from what the money was coming in, there'll be 33% more money coming in.
True.
And if this money keeps coming in and Indian promoters keep performing, next year it will be 5, it could be 6, it could be 10, who knows, right? So from a journey from a 3 to a 10 is a 300% more money coming in.
Yeah, it's a long game. It's a long run.
It's a massive capital boost for India. Massive capital boost. And if we have the manpower, we have the expertise, under Pradhan Mantri ji, the country is improving, the infrastructure is improving. If we can bring in that international capital, international respect, I think sky is the limit. We are no less than a US or a Europe.
Is it because now you're also working in Dubai, you're working all over the globe. So you've seen some changes of working schedules of Indians and European people.
See, I feel Indians have a very huge perseverance.
Like
Indians just don't give up.
They are skilled laborers.
I don't like to call them laborers.
No, laborers in a good way.
No, I'm joking.
Okay.
I think the skill, yes.
Yeah.
Intelligence, yes. But I think the one thing which changes an Indian from a European is the level of perseverance.
Okay.
Indians just don't give up. They just don't give up. They are so rugged because of maybe the environment we have grown in India. We just don't accept no for an answer. Yeah. And this is what is different to a European. If you tell European, no, it's not possible, he thinks that's the end of conversation.
Okay, it's not possible then. If he's saying, then I will believe it, right?
Yeah. But an Indian will be like, no, sir, please think again.
Well said. I think most of them will really agree to what you are saying. Well, you travel the world around and you know better than all of us. So, quick one, a rapid fire, very interesting. Are you all ready for this? It has to be very rapid, okay?
Of course.
All right. One book that has shaped your business philosophy.
I think there's a book called Factfulness by a writer called Hans Rosling.
Yeah.
I think that's one book which has really changed the way I think. Yeah,
it's a very famous book. Well, one myth about valuation you would love to bust forever. Quick.
Valuation is all speculation. I want to bust that myth. It's very, in long term, valuation is very number driven and the most logical thing.
Okay. One Indian business that you would like to scale globally.
Just so many Indian businesses, Haldiram, Fab India, our Udupi, all these businesses are phenomenal businesses who are running in India, but they can easily, have a massive global presence.
One business that you would like to scale
I
them
think
globally?
Fab India, I think is a very good business.
Yeah, is it? Okay. One piece of advice you would like to give to the next generation entrepreneurs listening right now?
Don't just focus on profitability, also focus on valuation and build an investable business. Play the long-term game and play the bigger game. Valuation is the bigger game.
Cool, perfect. That was our rapid fire.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being so quick. That was a great time with you, sir.
Thank
It
you
was
so
so much pleasing to hear about businesses, about IPO, about what to invest, where to invest, what to do, what not to do. It was so interesting to have a conversation with you.
Thank you so
Before leaving, would you like to give like one final shot of thought to people who are listening?
It'll be a very non very money advice. I just like to say that,
Yes,
you know,
please.
even though we have discussed a lot about millions to billions,
Yeah.
you know, I think life is not about money. It's about creating value, not just for yourself, but for the world around
World
you.
around,
And I
right.
think karma is very important. What goes around comes
Yeah.
around. So while one should walk this journey from million to billion, keep your feet on the ground and do the right thing.
Yeah.
If you do the right thing, good things happen to you.
Good things happen to you, and karma will always treat you in a good way.
Yeah.
Well, having a cause with a business will always give you a heads up. And that was a journey from millions to billions. For the first time, I heard someone who's just creating so much of energy and so much of potential into businesses, going globally and making a change. Like you said, it's not about money, it's about what changes are you making in the society. Is so
Yes.
important. Well, that was it, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it too. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the other side. And that was it. This was your host, Shefta Khan, and you were watching another episode of Storymakers. I'll see you until next time.